combo attack. All of us had barely just arrived, and my mother-in-law was already trying to boss us around. Oscar, Anthony, and their father tried to stop her, but because they were all soft-spoken, she overpowered them. My mother-in-law wouldn't stop.
And clean the bathroom. Of course, tonight you two will shower last, after me.
And there it is. Every Christmas I've spent here, I've dealt with that. We have an order in which we have to take showers, starting with my father-in-law, the man of the house. That's a totally old-fashioned way of thinking, but what can you do? The order went my father-in-law first, then Oscar, Anthony, my mother-in-law, and finally me. I'm sure that now Renee will come after me. Well, it didn't make much of a difference who came first between Renee and I. The problem was my mother-in-law. I would wait for my turn patiently, but she just wouldn't take a shower. Waiting, and waiting, she would take a shower at the last minute and then my turn would come. But they live in an old house with a boiler that can only warm up a certain amount of water per use, and my mother-in-law was adamant that the boiler should only be turned on once per day. Once it reached my turn, there was little hot water left, and whatever was left had already begun cooling down, and it was the middle of the winter. I once tried secretly turning the boiler on when it was my turn for a shower, but my mother-in-law stuck her head into the bathroom and shut it off. Because of this, I catch a cold every time we go over for Christmas. I end up spending the rest of the year doing my best to recuperate. Oscar and his father spoke up against that countless times, but she never stopped. So it's going to be the same this year, huh? Just as I was thinking I was sick and tired of this.
Wow!
A voice exclaimed. Turning around, I saw it was Anthony's wife, who had been silent until now. Her sparkling eyes were wide open.
Wow! Is this for real? Amazing, it's just like in that soap opera.
She lifted her hand to her mouth, which had dropped open in surprise. This was all so sudden that everyone went, huh?
This is my first time seeing someone like this. So this is what people call a monster-in-law, huh? I thought this was just in dramas and movies. But it's more frustrating, anger-inducing, and annoying in real life. It makes me want to slap you. You really are amazing.
No, you're the amazing one for being able to say something like that so nonchalantly. That's what I thought inside, but I kept silent. Everyone else stayed quiet as well. The first person who spoke up was,
Who do you think you are?
Our mother-in-law.
What's with that attitude and those words? Is that something you can say to a mother? Saying you want to slap me? Huh? Come on. Come on? I'm teaching you what it means to be a wife, calling me a monster and saying I'm annoying? I'm teaching you basic social know-how. You should be grateful.
Our mother-in-law screamed, her face bright red. Renee then laughed slightly. Our mother-in-law was so surprised she seemed to not know what was going on.
Basic social know-how? What era are you living in? Are you living in the 21st century? Preparing refreshments, doing the laundry, and then cleaning? This is your house, not ours. The kitchen is woman's battleground. I was taught by parents to not enter another woman's kitchen without permission. You aren't just another woman. You married into our family. I didn't marry you. I married Anthony. What? Wow, I'm really impressed. To think that mother-in-law like you exists in real life and not just in soap operas. Don't you think what you're doing is strange? You should reflect on yourself for a minute, because your actions are disgusting. Saying such shocking things so calmly, Renee had our mother-in-law at a loss for words. Her anger was so intense she probably couldn't express it in words. Seeing her trembling from anger, I struggled to hold back my laughter. After I was unable to control myself and let out a laugh, the men joined in as well. We all burst out in laughter. Once we began, we couldn't stop. Holding our bellies, we laughed and laughed until tears came from our eyes. What's so funny? Seeing my mother-in-law's red face, I became even less able to control my laughter. Please stop, you're going to kill me. My cheeks hurt.
Anthony, Oscar, my father-in-law, and I continued to laugh. My mother-in-law was trembling, face bright red. The look on Renee's face showed she didn't know what was going on. Eventually, the chaos finally died down and the sun started setting outside. I was tired out from laughing so much, but more than that, I was hungry. Oscar's mother was still telling Renee and I to cook dinner, but the strength in her voice had significantly decreased. But she was still persistent. Of course, Renee protested this.
Are you harassing us again? You're harassing us again, aren't you? Calling us over to your house and then forcing us to cook? You're trying to take advantage of us, aren't you?
Our mother-in-law went quiet. We decided to order delivery, and Renee and I helped out with serving the meal. But of course, only to a degree. We helped set the table and clean up as well as do the dishes. That level of support was more than enough. Though our mother-in-law still was telling us to clean the house and do the laundry after we finished eating. She really was stubborn. Whenever she got tired of listening to our mother-in-law, Renee would snap back, making our mother-in-law go silent. It was my first time seeing her so quiet. I thought there was no end to her complaints. Of course, we didn't sleep over. When our mother-in-law mumbled complaints about this, Renee said,
Oh, you're still going on. Why don't you try watching a soap opera? I can find an old-fashioned wife and mother-in-law drama for you online. How about doing that once we leave tonight? I'm sure you'll enjoy it since you'll see many people exactly like you.
Our mother-in-law went silent again. At first, I thought Renee might have just let her first comments slip out on accident in the spur of the moment, but she seemed to really believe everything she said. Renee, you're really tough, I said, to which she smiled.
No, that's not true. I'm just young and impatient. If anything, I think you're the tough one for dealing with her bullying until now. There's no way you could deal with all that if you didn't really love Oscar. I have a lot to learn from you.
Hearing those words, my heart felt lighter. I wanted to protect her, but she instead ended up protecting me. I was deeply grateful that she became my sister-in-law. I have a lot to learn from her as well. I want to become a stronger person. Above all, she taught me that I shouldn't be scared to talk back to my mother-in-law. She has all my gratitude. A few months after Christmas, when the flowers began blooming and the weather got warmer, I was pregnant. Oscar and I cried tears of joy. When we went to Oscar's parents' house to tell them the news,
Pregnant? Oh, it's a boy, right? If you don't give birth to a proper heir for Oscar, I'll never forgive you.
The family isn't rich enough to require an heir, is it? If you talk like that, I won't let you meet your grandchild, you know. After clapping back like Renee would, Oscar's mother went silent. Oscar and I made eye contact and smiled at each other. I'm going to become a mother soon. I can't let my mother-in-law control me forever. In the future, when our child brings home the person they want to marry, there's no way I'll act like her. I'm grateful to both Renee and the baby in my belly for pushing me to become a stronger person. Stroking my belly softly, I looked outside the window. My eyes twinkled as I watched the wind blow flower petals into the air.